Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
You're talking about the Earth being flat. Thousands of scientists have looked into it. You think they're all wrong? That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
It's even more hilarious is that we talked about this before the podcast started, the Japanese weather satellite. People keep saying in this flat Earth theory thing that there's no images of the Earth in full, that they're all composites. That's not true.
It's not true.
There are images of the Earth that are taken every 10 minutes by this one satellite, and they're high resolution. You can access them online anytime you want. But people see those and they want to think they're fake. Not
they
good
look.
enough.
I've seen so many fake ones that NASA admits that they're CGI composites. There's so many out there. So when you see this one, it's like this is the same one.
We don't have a picture of our Earth, except for the nice composite fake images NASA gives you to make sure you keep believing you're in a ball and keep arguing on their behalf. Keep fighting for them. Keep telling people we went to the moon simply because you can't let your mind think of the possibility that someone lied to you. The government lied to you.
I guess this is a photo of the Hubble telescope taking a picture of itself. Unbelievable.
But yet they believe there's an ice wall around Antarctica that you cross over. Where's this photo of the ice wall?
Yep.
There's so much fraud when you look into
Astronomy
it. I don't
doesn't
trust
come from the
shit. Look into it.
Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere.
Eddie, why would anybody be paying money for people to lie about the world spinning?
That's a very good question that everybody asks coming in. Everybody asks that
coming into the group.
Yeah,
have a
people
seat,
get,
have
people
some
get
coffee.
knocked down
My name's Eddie, and I
one
believe
by
the Earth's
one.
flat.
They're getting knocked
Hi,
down.
Eddie.
Now, why would they lie? Oh, I don't know. How about $18 billion annually? If NASA gets to steal $18 billion from their taxpayers, well, even if you don't believe anything else I've told you, the bottom line could be they stole your money for a fake trip to the moon. They stole your money for a fake rover on Mars. They stole your money to show you CGI and cartoon pictures of the globe. $18.4 billion annually? That might be another reason to lie.
It looks like a table or a board. Now, once in a while, you might see mountains or hills, but those are just like little bumps on what looks like a flat Earth.
The well, because the surface of the Earth is curved, the well is pointing in a little bit different direction, so the sun's rays come at a slightly different angle. So on this day, I will measure that the sun is directly overhead for me, but I'll get my friend 100 miles away to measure the angle of the sun relative to the well, and that tells you that the Earth is curved.
With the Earth supposedly 23.4 degrees on its axis, and that leaves you, of course, the occultic number, again, 66.6 degrees off.
If you look at the fuel that was loaded up into the Saturn V rocket, you can calculate where that fuel could take that rocket. It's to the moon and back. So they're not going to the Piggly Wiggly, right?
Yeah.
In the Saturn V.
No.
And if you do the geometry, you can work out if the 100 miles of the Earth's surface causes the sun's rays to suddenly be at that angle, how curved the Earth is and what the circumference of the Earth is. It's plain geometry that in principle any high school student could do.
Hey, first of all, how are they communicating with this guy
They
100
didn't.
miles away?
They're not immediately, but the guy writes it down, and then he takes a horse and they come and compare notes later.
And they use a sundial to determine the time?
The sundial to determine the time, and the...
But 100 miles away, would there be a deviation at all in the time, a minute or two?
Well,
right.
You get it wrong to some accuracy.
Right.
But they did pretty damn well.
Tell you right now, if you're listening, NSA/CIA, I'm available. I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care.
Nothing surprises me
Not only
anymore.
that, gravity's not real and dinosaurs aren't
real.
real.
I know. And you know the people who say gravity aren't real, I have a great solution.
What?
It's a
Jump
great
off
solution.
a building?
You walk out the window on the 13th floor and test your ideas. And the great thing is do it before you reproduce.
You guys all agree that Nikola Tesla was a great scientist?
Oh, he was a genius.
For sure, right?
He was a genius, but you got to remember that Nikola Tesla lived in a world where he was so far ahead of the curve, and there's very few people that were able to compete with him or even understand what he was doing.
This is just a fact. You can take it or leave it. Put in Albert Einstein hoax fraud. Endless videos. It's
Albert was a freak.
Endless videos. And like, wait a minute. Wasn't Albert Einstein Time Magazine's Man of the Century? Tesla
Edison was a direct
and Einstein were alive and kicking at the same time. Tesla There's quotes. The quotes could be bullshit.
Well,
but
Tesla
there's quotes of the
comes from
Teslas
several decades
crushing
before
Einstein,
though.
clowning him in
Wasn't
public. He thought Einstein was a fraud.
Tesla was a big fan of experiments. Einstein was a big fan of equations.
There was a quote by Tesla. Today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. That's what happened with the globe theory. Everybody knew the world was flat until one day some guy came along and said, "Oh no, it's a ball. We're spinning through space. We're circling the sun." A lie is a lie, even if everybody believes it. And truth is truth, even if no one believes it.
A lot of people just don't have any idea of any kind of tradition of where we came to these conclusions, so they think that history's starting right now with them.
There's a lot of laziness.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and there's also a lot of confirmation bias. They have these ideas in their head, and they don't look into them.
Mhm.
They're just not interested in really getting into it.
And from what I have read is Einstein was a great mind, but he was coming up at a time where he got most of the credit. He became a famous scientist when there were a lot of scientists working on very similar ideas.
He was an average
and
scientist who got blown up.
The science of the earth,
The government science that's bought and paid for.
If you'd like, look at pictures from space where you see the Earth as a sphere. Those pictures are not fake.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
To destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit.
However, according to experts, these photographs are much less conclusive than one might think.
Einstein told us that light actually is attracted by gravity. In other words, the path of light is not straight in a strong gravitational field. So astronauts looking at the Earth see a curved Earth, but what they don't realize is that it's not the Earth that's curved, it's the light taking a curved path from the Earth because of the strong gravitational field of the Earth that makes the Earth look curved.
This is basically the biggest thing you could possibly lie about. The best way to brainwash the whole world is to lie to the whole world about what the world is.
But people are willing to throw out evidence if they have a belief that's really firm. And what I said before is we have to realize the easiest person to fool is yourself. So if you're not willing to question your beliefs, especially those that you hold particularly cherished beliefs in, if you're not willing to question those, you're not gonna ever grow. Richard Dawkins tells me about an astrophysicist he knows who during the day, studies objects in the sky and looks at galaxies or stars and measures that they're 12 billion years old. But yet he goes home at night and is convinced that the Earth is 6,000 years old.
There does seem to be some weird inclination or some desire to expose secrets, to find secrets and to know them.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, but on the other hand, that's great. Let's exploit that.
I'm not saying it's round. I'm not saying it's flat. I don't know. Bro, take a look at it.
When you look into it.
You look into it.
Now, if we live in an enclosed system, that means man can't leave and go to any other worlds. That means we are special. It is just us. We aren't a speck of nothingness in an infinite space vacuum. We are very special if this is the case, if this is the only world covered by a dome.
And this is from NASA's official website. And this one page, spot the station, of course referring to the so-called International Space Station, which of course does not exist. Let's take a look here. What do you see? As a form of mockery, they have the flat earth model on their website.
A set of encyclopedias I have. They're Encyclopedia Americana. This is volume 2. It's the A's. What we're going to do is look at what it says about Antarctica. This is a 1958 edition. Okay, this was before the Antarctic Treaty was signed. They did flights, and it says, these flights prove the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Okay, I have no idea what that means. There seems to be only one definition for the word dome. Anyway, if anybody has any idea what this means, can explain this to me, I would appreciate it. Okay? Thanks.
And a war on Christianity.
President Obama was born into the Islamic faith.
The worst mass shooting in American history.
Youngest victims are real.